Hi everyone, so welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be playing with some of the new makeup products that I recently purchased. I did a haul video for the Sephora savings event. I did end up placing 2 orders. I was trying to be good, so today we get to play with some of those products, finally putting some of them on so you guys can see them and for me to kind of gather my first impressions and just my thoughts on these types of products that I have had my eye on. New products that just recently released that I have been wanting to try ever since I saw the photos on social media. So we'll get to these products as we go, but I am already starting off with a semi-done complexion. I have my foundation, my primer, concealer, brows, and bronzer because I did not purchase any of those items in these during the savings event that recently happened at Sephora. I will list everything in the description box and put the links to those products specifically down below with the colors that I wear in those complexion products in case that is helpful for you. So now I get to work on the eyes and creating something for today's eye look. We're going to do blush and highlight later because those are also new products that I'm going to use. But I am so excited to finally be able to do a look using the Huda Beauty Pretty Grunge palette. I ordered this as soon as it was available on the app and it released at the very beginning of November. Thankfully, it was still during the savings event, so I was able to snag mine for 20% off, which is always great. Every time I can save some money, I'm always happy and thrilled about that. But I did do some close-up shots of this already, so I will insert those, and here's a look at the palette. You can see the range of tones and the colors. It is very dark, very smoky. But what I like about this palette, as opposed to another sort of dark, smoky, cool tone palette that recently came out as well, the Xenon palette from Natasha Denona, the mix of tones that you have in here, it's not just some cool tones. There's subtle kind of warm tones in here, not many, but there are quite a few, a couple of neutrals, but there is a mixture of beigey tones, browns, which I love a good dark brown for smoking out my outer V, crease work, liner. You have some purpley tones, some really like silvery type of colors that can give you that silver sort of typical cool tone smoky look. You have the shade called Grunge, which is a cream that's a matte black eyeshadow color that you can use as a base or as liner. And you get more, I feel like, more options. And I think for me personally, I feel like I could get a lot more use out of a palette like this one from Huda. It's the same price point, $69 as the newest Natasha Denona, which, by the way, I know that quality of that palette is going to be A+ spectacular. She's going to knock it out of the park. But I feel like that palette, the Xenon, has to be something that you're really interested in and those colors that you wear on a regular basis to justify the almost $70 price point. So that's why I passed on it. So I do have my MAC Painterly paint pots already applied, and I'm going to start with one of the lighter shades, and I think I'm going to use this light kind of yellowy shade here. For that, I'm just going to go into my BK Beauty 212 brush, and I'm just going to go straight into the actual color. And it is kind of like a yellowy kind of buttercream with a touch of peach in it. And I'm going to use that and just dust that right over my lids all the way up to my brow bone. I'm going to go into the shade called Rise Up, which is one of the lighter shades in this palette. It's also matte, and I would say that's like a kind of cool toned, kind of like a stone, kind of pebbly type of shade. I know that's probably not the best description for this shade, but it's the one I got for you. And I'm going to take that color and I'm going to start defining my crease, just following the natural shape. And it actually does look deeper on than it does in the pan, which is also kind of surprising that it looks darker when applied than it actually does in the press pan. Then I want to add a little bit of depth to the outer part of my crease, and I'm going to use the shade called Hope, which is the dark brown. So this is the Rise Up that I have on my crease already. I'm just going one below. And keeping with that same brush for now, and I'm going to just press this right on this outer part of my eye. And then I'm going to just slightly kind of pull that towards the actual crease area, like towards the inner part of my crease. And I'm going to stop about halfway. I'm not going all the way in with this shade. I think I'm going to switch to a different BK Beauty brush, the 211, which is a little bit smaller, more wispy of a crease brush. And I'm going to continue blending this shade out. And a smaller brush is handy to keep this color kind of concentrated right on the outer part, which is where I wanted it to begin with. And one thing to note so far as I'm blending a few of these shades, I don't really see a lot of fallout just yet, which is great. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen with other shades. Just at the moment, I'm not really noticing any of that. So that's always a bonus because I usually do my eyes after complexion. So let's hope that it continues to stay that way through the rest of the eyeshadow look. And I'm going to leave this here for now, and I want to kind of swing down to the lower lash line and incorporate those two shades, the Rise Up and that brown, on the lower lashes just to kind of mimic what I've already done on my upper eyes. I want to kind of keep that cohesiveness down on my lower lash line. So for that, I like to use smaller brushes. And I have this old brush, it says Morphe E36. I'm not even sure if they still make this brush. This is a very old brush. And I'm going to take this one because it's quite small, and I'm going to start with that Rise Up shade, which is the light tan. And I'm going to apply this to the lower lash line. I can kind of hear my husband, he's outside putting the Christmas lights on the house, and he's coming to this side of the house. I'm in the basement and I can hear him making noise. So if you hear anything, if my mic picks it up, that's what it is. I'm going to take that same brush and I'm going to go into the dark brown shade, which is the Hope shade, tapping off the excess and applying that to the outer half. Same thing as I did on the upper. I'm doing that on the lower, so halfway. I don't want to bring this color that's too dark in too close to the inner corner. Then I want to take a little bit of a different type of shade, something maybe a little bit kind of warm. And I'm going to switch to a smaller crease brush. This is the Morphe M506 brush. Anything really small and kind of wispy. I'm going to take the shade called Liberty, which ironically we're kind of using this side of the palette first. That's just typical kind of everyday for me. But this Liberty shade here has a little bit of a kind of pinkiness to it, kind of like a dusty pinky rose type of shade with a little bit of brown in it. It's not quite pink, but it is definitely has some kind of rosy undertones to it. So I'm going to take that crease brush and I'm going to apply some of this to my lower lash line first, taking off the excess, and I'm going to use that to add a little bit of a rosiness right underneath. So I'm going to thicken naturally this area by doing this step, thicken up that lower lash line, but I'm also incorporating a little bit of, just a little bit more of a kind of pinky vibe to the look, a little bit of rosiness, and I really do feel like it kind of just sort of pulls that lower lash line together a little bit better. And that is incredibly pigmented. Whoa. And I'm going to do it thicker and not as precise, kind of keep it messy and kind of sloppy. It's part of the vibe of being kind of grungy. It's imperfectly perfect, like it's just kind of messy, but it's nice and it's a vibe and I'm here for it. So we're just going to leave it. Now for the lids, this is the exciting part because you have several options. You can go all the way dark if you wanted to, but then there are some shades in here that offer different textures and varieties and different finishes. Like look at these shades here that are kind of speckled and just different. And that's one of the things that I like about the Huda Beauty palettes. She incorporates very pretty kind of marbleized shadows in here. So the shade, let's swatch a few. The shade called Strong AF, which is beautiful. And when you swirl your finger, you will kind of mess up the initial like pan as it's manufactured, but that is the shade. Now we'll just kind of do some swatches. That shade, ooh, it's like a deep purple with like a silvery kind of sparkle to it. Yes. Then Maverick. Okay, Maverick feels like butter. Look at that. That is Maverick. Whoa. I'm excited. Super, super excited. I'm gonna use my pinky and I'm gonna take the shade Haphazard, which I've had my eye on this one since I opened it. I took this out of the shipping box this morning, by the way. Look at this shade right here. Haphazard right there. Do you see it? It's like speckled, like dark, grungy gray with a purple shift to it. Do you see that? The undertone is dark smoky gray, but the sparkle, it's not like ultra glittery, but it's a metallic finish, but the sparkle is purple over that gray base. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, and then this one, Rebel, I think that's how you pronounce that one. Let's show you what that looks like before I mess that up. That one looks really pretty. Okay, that's gotta be probably one of my favorites. It's like a silvery, sparkly, foiled color with a touch of purple, like a hint of lavender. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait to put this on my eyes. I just love makeup. It just makes me happy. So you have some purpley kind of smoky shades, some that are just a little bit like softer in colors, like this one here in the center, which is the Maverick. That's more of like a champagne-y silver. This one here is like a silver champagne with a touch of like a lavender undertone. It's so, so pretty. A shade called Stand Up, which is this one here. It's more of like a rose gold shade. That is so smooth. Oh my God, stop it. Okay. And then you have the shade here. This one here is called Avant Garde, which is this shimmer shade here. And that's a little bit more rich and, oh my gosh. Let me see. Let me swatch it on my wrist. They're just like liquid metal. Oh my. Okay. Huda's not messing around, y'all. She's not messing around. So I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to apply the Haphazard shade, which is the one I've had my eye on. I'm going to apply it to the outer half using my ring finger. I'm just going to take my finger, swirl that into the eyeshadow. Look at that. Oh my gosh, stop. And I'm going to just kind of press this right onto my lid. Halfway. Oh, that is beautiful. It's smoky, it's gray, but it's purple, and I just really hope that this blends very well. So I'm basically kind of covering up most of that dark brown that I have on my outer V, but that's okay. My small little brush here, and I'm going to blend the edges out a little bit and kind of get that color to meet up with that. So as soon as you start to do that, you will see that really dark gray undertone of that color really come out as you blend it. Then I'm going to use my other clean finger, and I'm going to take, I really hope you didn't fall off the ladder. That didn't sound very good. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to take the shade called Rebel, which is that kind of chunky, silvery lavender shade. And I'm going to use that on the inner corner because you know what? I'm already here, might as well. And I'm going to use my finger. I feel like that's the best way because it's chunky, but it's also soft. So if you push too hard, you will really put a dent into this color. And you kind of want to keep it, you know, looking kind of nice. You don't want to just like haphazard and go in there and really just smash it. Just be gentle with it. Ooh, she's pretty. That sparkle, she is here to play, yes. And then I'm finishing the look off with the One Size Fantasize mascara that came in a set. It was a set with the mascara and the Point Made liquid liner in Bodacious Black. And I should have used that today instead of my Makeup by Mario, but I wanted to test this mascara out and see how good this one is. So I'm going to do a good 2 coats, just like I normally do. Okay, so here's the look for the eyes with the mascara. I did 2 coats on the top and then just 1 at the bottom. And so far, it's okay. I feel like it's a little too wet and slightly clumpy on me. I don't know if it's because it's one of those that might get better as it gets used and it sits in my drawer and kind of hangs out for a little bit. It might just be that, and it may be a great formula. The brush, or the wand I should say, is a plastic wand, so it was a little bit kind of pokey when I was getting really close, I know, really close to the root of my lashes. I could kind of feel that, so it's something to kind of note because it's like little spiky little bristles, but the mascara did apply pretty well, and I'm just gonna have to kind of report back on my thoughts on that. But that set is actually a really great value, and I bought this when I first saw it on the Sephora app, think back in September, and I just completely forgot to talk about it. I don't know if I even shared this with you guys, but it's a duo set for a really great price. I need to do some blush. I do have my bronzer on. I'm wearing my Haus Labs Light Level 2 Velvet Bronzer, and I'm going to use my Prisme Libre blush. This is the one that I purchased during the Sephora sale recently. I only bought one shade, which is Taffetas Rose, and it's shade number 2. I did also use the Givenchy Prisme Libre Loose Setting Powder for my concealer today to see how they kind of play well together. I have not tried this, so we're going to do this together on camera. And I think that these sort of pinky, rosy kind of colors will really play nicely with the dark grays and the slight hints of purple that we've got going on. I don't know, it may not work out, but this is a full face, or as much of a full face of brand new things, so I'm just going to use it and make it work. So I'm excited to try these. Have you tried them yet? It comes with like a little puff sponge, which I wouldn't really recommend using that to actually apply it, because I think that just would apply probably too much product, to be honest with you. So I'm just going to put the puff off to the side, and I'm going to peel off the seal with my good old trusty tweezers. So it has 4 different shades in here that you can sort of dump out into the lid, which is probably what all of us would do. We just kind of dump it out. Pick up a little bit. Whoa. Let's tap off, shall we? And let's see. Let's start tapping gently towards the higher points, towards the back of the cheek area, and then sort of blend this out. Ooh, she's pretty. Ooh, yes. Over the nose for that kind of cold girl look that I like to do. Then once I have everything placed, I will take my brush with whatever's left and just lightly go over the apples of my cheeks. Not too much towards the center, like by the nose, because I don't want to bring my blush in too far. And also another great thing is that when I apply this, it's even on both sides, the tone of the pink. I've had some sort of issues with products like this where it's 4 different shades and you kind of dump them out. You tend to get sometimes more of one shade versus the other. But I feel like I have, looking down on my paper towel that I use to tap off the excess, I feel like I do have a good amount of all the shades. And I picked a shade that has some really nice pinks, some bright pinks, a bit of a lavender pink, kind of like a coral, a little bit more kind of purpley looking. So I feel like that all those shades together just look so, so beautiful. Okay, so for highlighter, I did buy 2 highlighters. I got one from Fenty, and I also got the ABH Glow Seeker. So I'm going to start with the Glow Seeker because this is the one that's intrigued me the most, simply because the shades, first of all, let's talk about the packaging. This is like a paperweight. It's heavy, it's hefty, it's luxe feeling. Such an upgrade for the brand, and I really do like it. And I appreciate that because this is a little bit more of a pricier highlighter. This highlighter looked kind of gold in some photos online, and then some social media photos, it looked champagne. So I was kind of curious to see how this was going to work for my very fair skin. I have not swatched it or played with it at all. I was saving it for this video, and I still have the little film over my mirror. But I do want to sort of see how this works with my fair skin. And I hope it's not as gold as it looks, because this looks quite yellow gold. And I'm more of a champagne. So let me show you the Fenty one. This is the Kilowatt in Fire Crystal and Lightning Dust. These are the shades that I normally gravitate towards, that I feel like are most complementary to fair skin like myself. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to love this. Now, let's just compare the tones together. Do you see how yellow this looks and how gold? So I'm afraid that this may be just a little too much for my skin tone. Fluffy. It's like a jumbo crease brush that I use for my highlighters. And I'm going to just go straight into the center. And it seems to be kind of like a gelée formula where I'm not seeing a lot of kick up and powder happening. So that's also a good thing. So let's just go for it. And I'm just lightly kind of buffing that on the high points of the cheek. Does that look too gold, too yellow? I don't know. Let's do it. But whatever I did pick up that one time, that was enough to do both of the high points of my cheeks, the temple, down the bridge of the nose, the tip of the nose. You could use this to highlight also which I think I will highlight the inner corner, but you know, it's not as yellow as I thought when applied, but it is a blinding highlight. Do you see that? So this definitely has its time and its place, I think. And you have to really like the intensity of this highlighter to really appreciate this, because this is intense. This is quite, whew. I like it, but I think that I would have to tread softly myself. I'm going to take a clean eyeshadow brush. This is the ES5 from Profusion. Same highlighter. And I'm going to use a little bit of that just at the highest points of the arch of my brow. And then the inner corner. Just a little bit to kind of finish off the entire... Oh, it scared me. I can see the ladder and I see the light dangling. You kind of scare me. But I'm going to just take a little bit of that ever so slightly, because I feel like the gold in this kind of clashes with the cool tones on the eye. So you have to kind of just a little bit of balance. And I'm only doing this because I have it on my face. Otherwise, if I would have done something else, I would have not done this highlighter for my actual highlight for the day. But I do like that. It is something that is, I don't know, a time and a place, I suppose. So for lips, I'm going to use one of my favorites. It's a drugstore product. It's the NYX Lip Liner in Nude Pink. I wanted something cool tone. I did pick up some YSL lip products that came in a set, but these, I will show you what they look like. I just feel like they probably won't go well with this cool tone. These are, one looks a little bit more of like a, I don't know, they just look kind of warm. And I kind of want to keep a little bit on the cool side. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go with the Nude Pink from NYX, because this is a cool tone pink. I'm going to line and fill. Okay, so here's what that lip liner looks like. I did have just a tiny bit of the Vanilla Summer Fridays lip balm on from my skincare routine earlier this morning. So I didn't take that off, and this just kind of went on just with ease. And I like the coolness of this pink. It's called Nude Pink, but I feel like it's a little bit more of a like brighter pink, and it's not quite as nude. At least for me, it's a little bit brighter of a pink than my natural lip color. So I love that. It's one of my favorites. Yes, it's not a Sephora product, so because it's just so great and I use it almost every day. This is, however, from Sephora. This is the Rouge, Longwear Rouge, whatever they're called. The name is not even on the product. It's on the safety seal. I will have it listed for you down below. But I feel like this sort of cool tone eye needs kind of like a cooler tone lip instead of something warm. So I'm going to go for this. These are so incredible from the Sephora collection, and they're amazing. I wish I would have picked up some more, but maybe the next sale I'll grab a few more shades. But that is what the lip looks like with the liner and that lip product. I did also pick up some of the glosses from Haus Labs. And I think I want to go for the clear, because I'm testing out a theory to see what happens as I use this, what starts to settle. Because my full size in the primary shade, which is the bright raspberry, has some stuff settling at the bottom. So I don't know if that's lip product or if it's gone bad. I hope not, because I really like that shade. But I'm going to just do the clear. And I'm just going to grab some more. They're kind of hard to take out. I'm going to just dab it, because I do see some lip products. So we'll see what happens if this comes off into the bottom of my little jar. So I'm going to just tap it. That is it, you guys. This is the completed look using some of the new products that I purchased at Sephora. I absolutely love this look. I like the cool tone vibes. I like the purple. I like that sort of brighter pink cool tone lip. It's a little different. It's a little bit more of a cooler pink than I normally wear every day. And I'm here for it. That kind of rosy cheek from Givenchy is just, yes. I think that this is my standout product from this video. And of course, the eyeshadows. I just really adore this, and I'm looking forward to using this again in a future video for a different look. So subscribe so you don't miss out on that. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you stuck around for the whole video, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was fun. I hope that maybe you got ready yourself with me as we were kind of playing with makeup. Don't forget the description box is going to have everything listed and linked for you below so that you can check out these products if you're interested. And the links are affiliates, so if you use them, thank you so much for supporting me and my channel. It means so much to me. And that is it, you guys. I hope you're doing well. I will catch you in my next video. We will play with some more makeup again and get ready together. Take care, you guys, and we'll talk very soon. Bye-bye.